Last night, a light similar.
I never thought a birthday party could tear a marriage apart. But now, looking back, the warning signs were there all along. My wife, Alara, had always been a quiet soul. She loved slow mornings, warm blankets, and soft laughter. Big crowds and loud spectacles were never her thing. That's why I was so surprised when she announced she wanted her birthday party at home this year. And she wanted to invite everyone. Our friends, our families, our co-workers, even neighbors we barely waved to. It felt so out of character, but she was genuinely excited, glowing from the inside out in a way I hadn't seen in years. So I didn't question it. Of course, I told her. Whatever you want. My name is Miles. I'm a software consultant, 35 years old. And apparently a husband who sometimes tried a little too hard, but lately Alara hadn't said much of anything. In the week leading up to the party, she just floated through the house, humming. She decorated every single corner by herself, gently brushing aside my offers to help. "No, it's okay," she'd say. I wanted a certain way. She wasn't rude, just distant. It felt like she was building something she didn't want me to be a part of. When the day finally arrived, the house was beautiful. Warm lights, pastel streamers, and framed photos arranged like a museum of her happiest years. People poured in with gifts and laughter, wrapping her in affection. She looked absolutely radiant. Meanwhile, I just drifted around, feeling more like a host than a husband. I refilled drinks, checked on the food, and smiled politely at people who seemed closer to her than I had felt in months. Every time I tried to catch her eye, she'd give me that soft, public smile that couples use when they just want to look fine. Around 8 o'clock, the house was buzzing with conversation and clinking glasses. That's when her best friend, Tessa, tapped a fork against her glass. Time for a birthday toast. Everyone gathered around. Alara stepped forward just slightly ahead of me, putting the smallest bit of distance between us. No one else noticed. But I did. She lifted her glass, took a shaky breath, and started speaking. "Thank you all for coming. This year has been complicated for me. I've learned a lot about myself, about what I want, about what matters." A nervous murmur rippled through the room. My stomach tightened. She wasn't looking at anyone, not her mother, not her friends, and definitely not me. "I wanted tonight to be about honesty," she said. "Real honesty?" The room fell completely silent. I should have known then that something was about to break. Her next words were soft, but they detonated something inside me. I've spent a long time pretending to be happy in ways that didn't feel real. The air rushed out of my lungs. She still wouldn't look at me. Her gaze was fixed on the floorboards as if her truth was buried in their cracks. "I want to make choices that feel right for who I am now," she said. "Not who I used to be." Guests exchanged uneasy glances. Someone coughed. Then Alara finally lifted her head and found my eyes. "Miles!" Just my name, spoken in a voice I didn't even recognize, made my chest ache. I need to say something that's been sitting inside me for months. My heart started pounding. Every single eye in that room swung to me. "I didn't choose this party to celebrate myself," she said. "I chose it because I needed the courage to stop hiding." I felt the room start to tilt. Was she leaving me? Was she sick? What was happening? Why here? Why like this? And then she said the 6 words that shattered me. "I can keep living like this." I instinctively stepped closer, but she just shook her head, a gentle, sad, immovable gesture. "It's not anger," she continued. "It's not blame. It's just truth." My mouth went dry. A wave of heat washed over my face, not anger, not yet, but shame. Not because of what she said, but because of where she was saying it. "Miles," she whispered, "I haven't felt like myself in a long time. And I haven't felt like your partner for even longer." Someone gasped. I couldn't breathe. "We can talk about this later," I murmured, pleading. "No," she said softly. "That's the problem. Later always becomes later. And I disappear a little more every single time." She looked almost peaceful, like she'd already mourned our marriage in private long before tonight. She took a shaky breath. "I felt alone in this marriage," she whispered. "Even with you right beside me." The room held its breath as our entire life cracked open right there in front of witnesses. The silence was thick. I organized this party, she said, because I needed witnesses, not to embarrass you, but to make sure I actually said the truth instead of running away again. Guests stared at the floor, at the walls, anywhere but at us. And she spoke the words I never imagined I'd hear. I don't want a divorce. A sharp, sudden wave of relief washed over me. But then she added, not yet. The floor disappeared from under me. What does that mean? I asked quietly. She lowered her glass, her hands trembling. It means I need a separation. I need space. Time to understand who I am without the weight of expectations. The room started to blur. To figure out, she said, her voice cracking, if I can love you the way you deserve, or if I've just been afraid to let go. I heard someone whisper, oh my God. She looked at me, her eyes glossy but determined. Why didn't you tell me sooner? I asked. Because I was afraid, she whispered. Afraid you'd try to fix it immediately. Afraid you'd convince me things were okay when I wasn't okay. And doing this here, this was the right way? I asked, my voice barely audible. No, she admitted. But it was the only way I knew I wouldn't back out. Her apology filled the room with a quiet, shared pain. I'm sorry, she said, for hurting you. And for not saying this sooner. There are moments in life when your heart breaks cleanly. This was not one of them. This was a splintering. And as I stood there in a room full of our friends and family, I realized I was witnessing the slow, public, and devastating end of us.